hits upon hits upon hits upon hits upon hits. Yes, I was there doing my little two-step dance, and I'm sure a few people were surprised. I don't dance that much, but when I do, well, it's got to take a lot for you to see me on the dance floor. But I did, and I just want to, give the organizers a round of applause because I know it's not easy to put these things together, but they managed to pull it off. It was a good turnout, and the demographic of fans was diverse, and I think the age group probably was between 30 and above. And then also you had young people in there as well. So probably in their 20s or mid 20s. So there you go. Credentially captured, whole demographic, and to the point that he's not even putting out that much music now, but it just goes to show when these guys were releasing the music back in the days. I mean, it's good to look back now and still appreciate their work, their craft. I wonder how many musicians out there today, after 30 odd years, will still be able to pull this much crowd. I don't know. I can probably list a handful of people, especially when it comes to, high life in particular. Although I don't think Kodentry classifies his music as high life. I think the last time I had an opportunity to speak to him, to interview him, he classified his music as Afro pop. So there you go. We've had Afro pop, and then I think Afro pop more or less gave birth to what we now call Afro beats, because I think Afro pop kind of like broke the barriers. It was a genre that transcended. It wasn't just in Ghana, and of course, High Life has transcended as well. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about it because I was supposed to talk about it yesterday, but I forgot basically. Not that I forgot. I had a lot of things going on here whilst you're on air. It's very, very difficult to remember a lot of things. So you realize that sometimes you say one thing and then for some reason you completely forget because other pressing issues have taken precedence, But that was my weekend. It was really good. And yeah, well done to the organizers. Right, plenty to talk about today. It's coming up to 20 past 8. A lot of things to talk about this morning. Here's what we got coming up on today's show. Slavery reparations for Africa long overdue, according to the president of Ghana, Nana Akufo-Addo. I'm asking, do you agree? And this is another thing that we will look at today. I don't know if I would like to hear your take on this, right? Because especially, I don't know, maybe down to technology. I don't know, technological advancements. We're beginning to see more and more of these things. Do you take aphrodisiac to last long in bed? We can't hide away from it. I mean, there's Viagra. There are other substances out there, especially within the Afro-Caribbean community. A lot of, especially the African community, a lot of herbs. You hear about these things and you hear horror stories where people have taken these things and unfortunately led to their untimely death or the repercussions, the side effects. Would you rather subscribe to, orthodox medicines that will enable you to last long in bed, or not, or you just stick to the traditional herbal remedies? I want to know. I really, really do want to know. And then first ship carrying a Ukrainian grain leaves the port of Odesa. Plus, Senator signs impeachment notice to remove President Buhari. There's and much more coming up very, very soon. Of course, we'll look at, we're bringing the headlines, the newspaper headlines here in the UK. Plus, in the midst of the higher cost of living, BP, British Petroleum, have announced their annual profits. Okay, so whilst a lot of us, many people are struggling, BP reports huge profits as energy bills soar. So we bring you what's on that, what's been happening. Plus Love Island. I don't know whether many of you have been watching Love Island. Look, myself included. I don't really watch it, but as and when I get time, I'll flick through the channel and maybe watch it here and there. Sue and David crowned 2022 winners in live final. Okay, David, I think it's David, right? I'm actually surprised this couple won. I'm actually surprised for fans of Love Island. I know secretly a lot of people do watch this particular program, so we'll bring you what's happening on there. And another story which I felt is very, very important: call for body image warnings on retouched photos. So on social media, and I'm sure a lot of people do it. I think the furthest I will go, or as far as I will go in terms of pictures posting on social media, is probably use a filter. But people really, really go all the way in, where somebody, their body is not that perfect. I don't know what the definition of a perfect body is, so I don't know. Okay, let me actually retract that. I don't know what is classified as a perfect body, but what is being posted out there, it's not actually what these people are. Okay, and right now there's a call for body image warnings on retouched photos. So for instance, and I think Instagram have actually done this. So if you post a picture and you use one of their filters, it's at the bottom that it indicates that a filter has been used on this particular picture. All right, so we'll bring you they will bring you what the story actually entails really, really soon. The cost of living, energy bills forecast to hit £3,615 a year. So for us here in the UK, this would be of interest to us. Tory leadership, Penny Mordaunt backs Liz Truss to be prime minister. It wasn't long ago, Penny Mordaunt was also a contender to become the prime minister. She's given her support to Liz Truss. And whilst we're on this, okay, we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago. Was it last week? I think possibly last week with Abu Shaw, and also Mr. Kid Yosin was calling in. And my question was the significance of Rishi Sunak potentially becoming the next prime minister. The significance of that to the ethnic minorities here in the UK, with Rishi Sunak potentially becoming the next prime minister. And I mean, the consensus within our community is that you can only go as far as an ethnic minority member, but to actually go to the top, to reach the top, it will never happen. And this is not just based on the fact that whether he's qualified for the job or not, but simply based on his background. Okay, and that was the consensus. I mean, it's no hidden secret. We do have these conversations because we know the challenges that we face in day-to-day lives here in the UK and also in the diaspora. Okay, and you get the feeling that people think that it's just because of his background he's not going to be able to go all the way. But then if we look at it on a broader scale, I mean, in Westminster bubble, or in around London, and probably from his constituency, he will appeal to the people. But outside the London bubble, I think it would be difficult for Rishi Sunak to actually appeal to some of the hardcore conservatives. All right. I'd like to hear your take, because right now it looks as if Liz Truss is in pole position to become the next prime minister come September 5th. She will be elected as the next prime minister. I'm not saying she is definitively, but I'm just saying that she's in pole position. If you look at the newspapers, everything is about her, and it looks that everything looks positive. So we'll bring you up to date on that. Plus, BA suspends sales of short-haul tickets from Heathrow. Okay, so this is what we've got coming up. Many stories, and then when we go to across Africa, protest as more than 80 rape suspects appear at Johannesburg courts. When it comes to rape, it's rife in South Africa. We'll bring you a story on that as well. Plus, 3 policemen and 5 militiamen killed in an ambush in Nigeria. And earlier, as I was saying, first ship carrying Ukrainian grain leaves the port of Odesa. And then elsewhere in Ghana, mentally unstable woman stones an Okada rider to death at Kwame Nkrumah Circle. According to Baka Vamawa, there is something wrong with this country. Now, this man was the guy that allegedly claimed that he will orchestrate a coup d'etat in Ghana if the government was to proceed with its policy of the E11. Of course, he's been part of the Fix the Country movement. Now, according to him, there's something wrong with Ghana. And he's talking that he's been detained. He was detained for 35 days without being charged, which goes against his fundamental right to a fair trial. And of course, according to the president of Ghana, slavery reparations for Africa is long overdue. I'm asking you, do you agree? A lot to be discussed about that. Plus, a Nigerian senator said he has signed impeachment notice to remove President Buhari in light of security issues in Nigeria. And this story doesn't seem to be going anywhere soon. 5 Ghana cedis surcharge for registering your SIM card in Ghana. And finally, do you take aphrodisiac to last long in bed? Okay, there are negatives and positive. Well, I don't know whether it's positive effects. I've never tried it, but I'm asking you. Let's have a discussion. Let's hear your take on this. One thing I have noticed is that, and this is, I'm not targeting anybody specifically, right? Is that especially when I do travel to Ghana, and 2019 I went to Sierra Leone, and then I went to Ghana, and I was able to, just speaking to people in Sierra Leone, and it's the same thing. You have people selling these aphrodisiacs that is meant to enhance your performance in bed and do all sorts. This same thing is supposed to do other things as well. Okay, now I don't know. I don't think I'll ever need to use it. I don't think I will use it. I don't know. I've never tried it. I don't know, but I want to hear your experiences if you've tried it or you know of somebody that has tried it, and does it work? Are there any side effects? Or it's all good. All right. I know it's a bit early, Tuesday morning, 8:30, 2nd of August, but we have to look at these things because they do have significant impact on our lives. So that is what we've got coming up on today's show. Don't go nowhere. We're taking a quick break. When we'll come back, we will talk more. It is 8:31. You're listening to GN Radio, the morning breakfast show with myself, John Silver. We'll be back right after this.
Yo, Ghana for you want English approach my moha. Ya sweady. Yenya emranimfo a won akwatare wo emranimu a poto kasa mu ye kasa a lawyer for entimi nuanom momyemfa ye immigration ensem nyina enko dan wo mo fortwell solicitors emranimu akuku drofo se watna ha che ombeboa wo ma wonsa kan wo krata na se wedi edron so a eyo mo kokokra eba ne nipa setena mu ani adwuma mu nsem bia omudim akotene pa omo wo mre di mani pa bia na de eni ka wo mu poni se no consultation fee
Fortwell Solicitors always puts our clients' needs first. We specialize in all UK visa applications, detention and deportation cases, student and work points-based work permit applications from both UK and abroad. Fortwell Solicitors also deals with long residence and human rights applications outside the immigration rules. Don't wait till last minute. Fortwell Solicitors is located at
Unit 1, ground floor, Katrina House, 50A Clarendon Road, London, N80DJ. Nearest tube station, Tempark Lane and Wood Green. Overground, Hornsey Station. Buses, 41 to Archway and 144 to Maswa Hill. For more info, call 0203 3257 030. Call our 24-hour line on 0754 8701 011. Website www.fortwellsolicitors.com.
opening hours Monday to Friday 9:30 to 5:30 p.m.
Thursday, Beyonce, Young Milton Keynes.
Fortwell Solicitors is regulated by SRA.
Fortwell Solicitors.
The world as we know it has changed, and so have the issues affecting our community.
COVID-19 and the geopolitical tensions have really made it abundantly clear that the African continent has to do more to be self-sufficient from an industrial capacity point of view.
Join me, Jones Awuah, on GN Breakfast Show as we look at issues affecting us here in the UK, with a close eye on trending stories across the world.
When we invest from the UK into infrastructure in African countries, that it is absolutely transparent.
With a focus on Ghana's social and political issues.
I mean, it's not about you thinking about, your money, the Sikadiya Basa. It's not what our authorities should be thinking about, or officials, but rather they should think about the nation.
The Breakfast Show with Jones Awuah.
Monday to Wednesday from 8 a.m. on GN Radio. Welcome back to this show, the Morning Breakfast Show with myself, Jones Awuah. The time now is 8:34. I mean, that's before I went on the break, as I was saying, there's a lot to discuss today. And as always, I do welcome your contribution, your thoughts, and also your views. One thing about this particular show is it's not just a monologue, right? It's not a monologue, I should say. It is a dialogue. And the fact that we get to have a conversation is really, really important, because guess what? Whatever it is out there, I mean, I think probably thanks to globalization, we're so interconnected now. And whatever happens elsewhere will have a direct impact on us. And therefore, we need to be able to have a conversation. Whether you like it or not. Sometimes I don't understand when people say they don't like to get involved with politics. It's just mind-boggling, okay? If you're like that, I'm pleading with you to rethink about it. The reason why I'm saying that is we live in a nation run by states, and the states do make laws, okay, and these are laws that the citizens have to abide by, and the relationship between citizens and the state is as such that we elect them to represent us. So how can you elect somebody, or the majority of people elect people to represent us, our needs, our security, our protection, okay, laws that will be governed by, and then turn around and say we don't want to get involved in politics? You have to get involved with the politics. Politicking. You have to get involved. If you don't, whatever decisions are made, are taken, will go against you. It will. It definitely will. So you do have to get involved. It's not politics. It's not all about taking an entrenched position to favor one particular party or the other. No, it's about being well informed to know which policies you think will help you, your family, policies that you think are ideal and can take the country forward, that help the development of the country. Some policies that you think needs to be introduced. So you need to get involved. You need to. We have to get involved, and most importantly, hold leaders to account. Hold leaders to account. So do get involved, and also it makes you, you're socially, you're aware of your surroundings or what's happening. Okay, so do get involved. I would like to hear your take on what we're going to discuss this morning. Let me remind you, we're also streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube as well. If you go on YouTube, it's GN Radio UK. You should be able to tune in. Also on Facebook, and I've seen a few messages on Facebook. I will read them out very, very soon. I invite you, I welcome you to join me this morning. And the way to do so is by picking up the phone and calling and dialing these numbers 0203 735 8820 or 0203 286 0185. Alternatively, you can call 0778 793 9958. You can also send your WhatsApp messages on there and I will read them out. And I like it when we have a dialogue. Okay, we don't always have to agree. We agree to disagree, and this is what helps to keep the conversation going. All right, now let's begin with the newspaper headlines here in the UK, and a lot of the newspapers are actually leading with the Lionesses' victory against Germany in the Euros 2022 finals, the Women's European Cup. We begin with the Metro. The Metro have the Lionesses dancing with the headline Dancing Queens. The Guardian, the same, everyone is buzzing. Lionesses' victory echoes around the nation. And I mean, this is significant. It's so important because what this will do is it will encourage young girls to participate, especially in football, a sport highly dominated by men. And, I have been a fan of women's football since the early 90s, actually. I mean, back then it wasn't, there wasn't much investment into it, but it was because I love football. Everybody that knows me knows that I love football. Okay. And to see where it was at that particular time to now, it's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And this will also put a lot of pressure on the Premiership clubs to actually invest in the women's league. Okay, so this is really good, and the fact that the newspapers are actually this is the second day. Okay, the newspapers are actually promoting this. This would definitely put a lot of pressure on Premier League clubs to invest more, and also for them to invest more in grassroots. Because imagine, young girls becoming top athletes. It's unbelievable. The Daily Telegraph. Truss is the candidate of hope, declares Morden. Penny Morden, who was also a contender to become the next prime minister, has given her support to Liz Truss. The Eye as well says, next up, the World Cup. Hopefully they can bring the World Cup home. The Lionesses can bring the World Cup home. Boris Johnson's blame game. Neurotic Tory MPs clash with narcissist prime minister. The Daily Mail also have a picture of the Lionesses. In an age where women's very existence is being denied, this glorious show of bold femininity can change the world. I think, and they've got a picture of Chloe Kelly, who scored the winning goal Sunday's final. I think she took off her top and she had her vest on. I mean, just trying to show that, you know, women should be able to celebrate and also to be taken seriously. The game needs to be taken seriously. Liz, our hot junk food tax, again from Liz Truss. The Daily Express, let's celebrate lionesses to be honored with gongs. The Times as well has a massive picture on their front page with the lionesses celebration. A lot of the papers are leading with that particular story. The Financial Times leads with plans for the U.S. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Nancy Pelosi, to meet Taiwan's president in a controversial visit, which triggered concern over a possible military response from China. The paper says China has issued a strong warning to the Biden administration over the visit. And I think I was listening to the news yesterday, and Nancy Pelosi, this is not the first time, actually. I think, according to reports, that she actually did this back in 1991. Well, she was able to sneak out to join, to demonstrate, to stand in solidarity with people of Taiwan. So we'll see how that unfolds. Yesterday, the US were actually saying that it's not as a big deal as people are making it, that it's not that serious. So we'll see. Keep a close eye on that. Nightmare, beer-loving pony who has made mayor gets barred from his local pub. The Daily Star has a story about a beer-loving pony who has been elected mayor, but also barred from his local pub. Okay, so that's the newspaper headlines. But one story that I think we need to just bring to your attention is harmful body expectations mean ads should carry warnings if model photos are digitally altered, says MP. So MPs are calling for pictures which have been enhanced, okay, on social media. Okay, there needs to be a warning for people to know that this is not actually what the person looks like, that this picture has been enhanced. Okay, and I'm all for this. It also said social media promotion of cosmetic services such as dermal filters or fillers, dermal fillers should be tightly regulated. Those booking a procedure should be given 48-hour cooling off period and should be a full check of their medical and mental health history. And I think probably I will think more on the mental health aspect, okay, because social media is it comes with a lot of pressure. It does come with a lot of pressure, and you see a lot of people, both men and women, boys and girls, are heavily impacted with what they see on social media, and a lot of these things are actually not real. This is people posting an image that they have in their head. These days, I mean, thanks to technology, there's so many things you can do. Somebody could be, obese, for instance, that will be able to use these apps that when you see the final output after using, these enhanced apps, it's remarkable. It's remarkable. And social media does deceive a lot of the time. Right now, cost of living, energy bills forecast to hit £3,615 a year. Typical domestic energy bills could hit, as I said, £3,600 a year this winter, according to a new forecast. Consultancy Cornwall Insight said that the typical gas and electricity bill in England, Wales, and Scotland could reach £3,615 in the new year, hundreds of pounds more than previous predictions. The government has announced a package of measures to help households with the rising cost of living. However, some have called for more support for families. The average energy bill was at £1,400 a year in 2021. The last energy price cap increase in April 2022, so that saw that rise to £2,000. The price cap, the maximum amount suppliers can charge customers for average energy usage in England, Scotland, and Wales, is expected to go up again in October. And there's just a little sign of abating. So, what is the phrase? What's the saying? We need to tighten up our belts, right? Now, imagine I've just showed you or read to you or told you that energy bills are forecast to hit £3,615 a year, right? On the other hand, BP has reported massive profits for the 3 months to June after oil and gas price soared. The energy giants saw underlying profits hit $8.5 billion, which is the equivalent of £6.9 billion, more than triple the amount it made in the same time last year. The figure is the second highest in the firm's history and takes its half-year profits to $14.6 billion. Shareholders are laughing all the way to the bank, whilst the citizens are struggling to pay their energy bills. And I don't want to get into that whole discussion, okay? Because it just comes down against this whole capitalism, capitalism ideology, all right, the system. But I don't want to come to that now. Something a bit more on the eye, easy on the eye. Ekinsu and Davide crowned 2022 winners in live final. Ekinsu and Davide have been crowned the winners of Love Island, winning the show's 50,000 prize money. Gosh, I could deal with that right about now. The pair, above 27, said they couldn't believe they had won, describing their time on the show as a dream. Ekinsu is an actress and model from Essex, while business owner Davide is from Rome, Italy. Okay, so I did watch it. Not the final. I have watched the show. Okay, I haven't really been following it, but I have watched it. Watched a few episodes, and I must say, I actually preferred this season's Love Island. I thought it was less, stuff under the duvet going on. I don't know. Maybe probably the times that I did watch it, nothing much was going on. Okay. But anyway, that's the newspaper headlines and some of the stories making the news in this country. We're going to take a break. And when we come back, we'll look at the trending stories across the continent of Africa. Okay. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back right after this.
Yo, Ghana for you what English approach my muha. Ya sweady. Yenya emrenim fo a wen akwatare wo emre mu a poto kasa mu ye kasa a lawyer fo entimi ne no mo yem for immigration ensem nyina enko dan wo mo fortwell solicitors emrenim akuku draw for se watna ha che ombeboa wo ma wonsa kan wo krata na se wedi edro nso a eyo mo kokokra eba ne nipa asetena mu eni adwuma mu nsem bia omudi mu akotene pa omo wo mre di mani pa bia na de eni ka wo mu poni se no consultation fee.
Fortwell Solicitors always puts our clients' needs first. We specialize in all UK visa applications, detention and deportation cases, student and work points-based work permit applications from both UK and abroad. Fortwell Solicitors also deals with long residence and human rights applications outside the immigration rules. Don't wait till last minute. Fortwell Solicitors is located at
Unit 1, ground floor, Katrina House, 58 Clarendon Road, London, N80DJ. Nearest tube station, Tempark Lane and Woodgrade, Overground, Hornsey Station, buses 41 to Archway and 144 to Maswa Hill. For more info, call 0203 3257 030. Call our 24-hour line on 0754 8701 011. Website www.fatwellsolicitors.com.
Opening hours Monday to Friday 9:30 to 5:30 p.m.
Thursday beyond so your Milton Keynes.
Fatwell Solicitors is regulated by SRA.
Fatwell Solicitors.
The world as we know it has changed, and so have the issues affecting our community.
COVID-19 and the geopolitical tensions have really made it abundantly clear that the African continent has to do more to be self-sufficient from an industrial capacity point of view.
Join me, Awuah, on GN Breakfast Show as we look at issues affecting us here in the UK, with a close eye on trending stories across the world.
When we invest from the UK into infrastructure in African countries, that it is absolutely transparent.
With a focus on Ghana's social and political issues.
I mean, it's not about you thinking about, your money, the Sikedia size, not what our authorities should be thinking about, or officials, but rather they should think about the nation.
The Breakfast Show with Awuah.
Monday to Wednesday from 8 a.m. on GN Radio. Welcome back to the Morning Breakfast Show with myself, Jones. We are streaming live on Facebook and also on YouTube. You can listen to GN Radio on www.gnradiouk.com. Alternatively, you can also listen to us on Tunein. All right, so you have no excuse not to join us. Now then. Earlier, I was asking this question. According to the president of Ghana, slavery reparations for Africa is long overdue. I'm asking, do you agree, or do you think that Africa just needs to move on? Africa as a continent needs to move on, and try to move away from colonization and what it is that we suffered as a people. The president of Ghana, Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, says reparations for Africans and people of African descent who suffered the heinous transatlantic slavery trade are long overdue. He said that though no amount of money could restore the damage caused by the transatlantic slave trade and its consequences, which have spanned many centuries. Nevertheless, it is now time to revive and intensify the discussion about reparations for Africa. Indeed, the time is long overdue. Do you agree with him or not? But I think one fundamental point, that he makes here is that he said he regretted that the subject of reparations become a debate only when it comes to Africa and Africans. I agree with that. He then went on to say that when the British ended slavery, all the owners of enslaved Africans received reparations to the tune of £20 million, the equivalent today of 20 billion pounds sterling, but enslaved Africans themselves did not receive a penny. He added that likewise in the United States, owners of slaves received $300 for every slave they owned. The slaves themselves received nothing. In the case of Haiti, the country had to pay reparations amounting to $21 billion to French slaveholders in 1825 for the victory of the Great Haitian Revolution, the first in the Americas and the Caribbean, which freed the slaves. And then the president says that Native Americans have received and continue to receive reparations. Japanese American families who were incarcerated in intermittent camps in America during World War II received reparations. Jewish people, 6 million of whom perished in the concentration camps of Hitler's Germany, received reparations, including homeland grants and support. That bit I do agree with the president of Ghana. Slavery reparations for Africa long overdue, according to the president of Ghana. Do you agree with his suggestion there? I mean, this, as he said, this debate has been ongoing. It's not the first time this has come up. There's been many debates. I mean, if you go on YouTube, you can still find this. It looks as if every nation or individual people, group of people that were tortured in one shape or the other received reparations. When it comes to Africa or people of African descent, the debate is not as forthcoming. I wonder why. I wonder why. And we have to have this debate simply because if we don't, then I think this whole movement of equality will not end. Not that it will, it will end forever, because at the end they were all human beings. But when it comes to Jewish people or a Jewish person being discriminated against to that of a black person, you see there's a clear distinction, right? And I think that the Jewish person will be taken more seriously than the black person. Now, I don't know why that is. I don't know. Maybe you'll be able to tell me. One argument could be that Jewish people have been able to push and push and push for any discrimination against them to be recognized and to be people to be held to account. It doesn't matter where you're from, and maybe some people might say that the black community ought to do the same thing. But where do you stand on this? Let me hear your take. The time now is fast approaching 9 o'clock. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we continue with our discussion. Now, bringing more stories across the continent of Africa. Don't go nowhere. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back. This is GN Radio Morning Breakfast Show with myself, Jones. So what the time now is 4 minutes past 9. It is Tuesday, the 2nd of August, 2022. Very good morning to you. Good morning to Mami Oye. I know that you're listening. Hope you're well and safe. All right, let's look at other stories as well. And soon as we are talking about Ghana, I think we'll carry on with what's happening in Ghana. And a lot of the times, we bring you other stories, trending stories, then we move to Ghana. But maybe today we will probably just begin with Ghana whilst we bring you an update as to what's happening in the world. Mind you, you can call. The number is 0203-735-8820 or 0203-286-0185. We are streaming live on Facebook, so you can get in touch on there as well. You can go on Facebook and then get in touch on there, okay? I will be able to read your messages out as well if you're on Facebook. Right now, this story really caught my attention yesterday. And a friend of mine actually posted this on her Facebook page, and I wanted to look into it as well because it brings a lot of issues to light, and I don't think it's only peculiar to Ghana. Mentally unstable woman stones Okada rider to death at Kwame Nkrumah Circle. And for those who don't know what Okada is, it's so it's a form of transport, right? Motorbikes, okay? So it's called Okada. Now, according to reports, the mentally unstable woman at Kwame Nkrumah Circle has killed a man. According to an audio and video details from an eyewitness, the woman used a big stone to commit the crime when the unidentified gentleman, said to be an Okada rider, was sleeping somewhere around the Kwame Nkrumah interchange. So, if you read the story, it's been reported that initially there was some sort of I wouldn't say argument, well, an argument between the rider, the deceased, and the mentally unstable woman. And to the point where the young man then went away, came back, found somewhere to sleep. The woman then later on found a stone and then hit the young man in the head. Now, the reason why I think this story is so crucial and important to discuss is that for many of our listeners who have been to Ghana or tend to go to Ghana a lot, or Africa full stop, who travel back home, you realize that you see people with severe mental health issues just roaming around on the streets. And you always wonder the kind of help out there to help such vulnerable people. And secondly, I think when you talk about mental health, clearly this woman does have a family. Clearly she's from somewhere. She's somebody's daughter. She's somebody's sister, possibly somebody's wife, somebody's auntie. So she does have a family. She came from somewhere. And the stigma of mental health within our community is such that we tend to shun people who suffer from this illness. And to me, when we don't protect the vulnerable, this is what could potentially happen. Either they end up being murdered or they end up committing the murder. And it's just, it baffles me because clearly these people roaming on the streets, okay, you see them, I don't need to describe what they look like. I'm sure if you haven't witnessed or come close to somebody with a severe mental health issue, you can picture it, okay? They're sleeping rough. Even what they eat, nobody knows. They normally trying to pick up food from the floor, and they're just in a very, very bad state. But the problem is their mental health. How serious as a nation, or Ghana, I should say, serious in dealing with mental health, not just the medical aspect, but culturally. culturally, and even here. I mean, I don't. We're proud people. Like I keep saying this and I keep repeating this. We're the same people that traveled from back home to come here, and sometimes certain things that we ought to know better, we still hold on to it. If somebody, an African or somebody of African descent, has mental health issues, the stigma is just unbelievable. And I remember back in 2018, or was it 2019, we did a show on mental health, especially within the Black community. And just down the road from here in Brixton, South London, we managed to interview a man. Look, this guy looked well presented. He was just going about his day to day. You couldn't tell that this guy was going through serious mental health issues or was suffering from serious mental health issues. We just wanted to talk to him. As you do Vox Pops, you just want to get people's opinion on particular subjects. And as we spoke, the moment I asked him the question, the guy just broke down and started crying because he had just finished his session with his GP and he was going to another session where a group of men meet up to talk about their mental health issues and they help one another. And the guy was from, I think, East Africa, whether Kenya or Uganda. Can't remember right now. And speaking to him, he just broke down simply because the fact that he has mental health issues, he's been left to his own devices. He's seen as an outcast. People refer to him as, oh, that guy, oh, he's mad. He's mad. And that really, really hurts him because he wants to draw closer to people, but people are pushing him away. And this is what we face in our community. And if we don't tackle this issue, this country here, there's a lot being done for mental health. There's a lot of awareness. You can talk about the fact that, the help from NHS is not that adequate, but there is still help. There are organizations out there trying to help people. But in the case of Ghana, and again, I recall we did a show to do with mental health again. This was somewhere 2016, 2015. And we were able to get footage because we were concentrating particularly on how they seen us, somebody suffering from mental health, we've seen as the person with, some sort of demonic issues, or it's because of the person's illness. That's why the family, one particular family, are not able to make it in life. I don't know, some crazy excuses to the point where some of these people are taken to concentration camps, prayer camps, right? And some of them are being tied against their will. There was one guy that he was very eloquent. He expressed himself and he said his family brought him here and he's been chained. And this is where he has to do everything. This is where he has to, if he wants to use the bathroom, this is where he does it. Right. Just like, a yard from where he's been chained. So when it comes to mental health, I'm very, very particular about it because I think every individual, especially in a vulnerable state, needs help. Really, really needs help. And if we don't take serious measures, this is what will happen. Now, according to reports, the woman has been arrested. Now, I don't know what they're going to do with this woman because clearly she's suffering mentally. I don't know what they're going to do to her. I don't know how. I don't know. They're going to take her to court. She's going to be charged with murder. Somebody suffering. So just look at this here. Not enough help for somebody suffering with mental health, okay? Then the person goes and commits a crime. Then the police comes in to arrest this woman. And then is it now that they're going to help this woman? We wait for such an individual to commit a crime before we say, okay, come here, we can help you. It's unbelievable. Really, really unbelievable. This is a message from Michael. Michael, good morning, Mike Kunke. A very good friend of mine. Good morning. Michael is saying we virtually pay no attention to mental health in Ghana. Aside the asylum down, Pantang and uncomfortable mental health centers, there's nothing again in the entire country. Even the ones available, the facilities available is just appalling. And and sometimes this is what really, really gets my back up, okay? Because we spend so many times, a lot of the times, talking about NPP, NDC, you name it, real politicking, right? And then sometimes we overlook the story, the issues affecting the ordinary citizen. I just read an article not long ago about social media, the impact it has on young people and their mental health. And I know this story has nothing to do with social media, but again, I'm just stressing the fact that in terms of trying to help, because it is serious. If you're not careful, we're going to have a lot of young people, unfortunately, being impacted by mental health. And when that happens, we've seen it. A couple of weeks ago, I saw a young man who was murdered, not because of social media, but the lifestyle they want to live. And this is propagated by social media. People, flossing, as it were, showing off what they have, and people aspire to also live that kind of lifestyle. And what happens is they tend to fall into they tend to follow the crowd, as it were. But before I continue, let's take our first caller. Hello, what's your name? Where are you calling from? And what would you like to say?
Good morning. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Kofi Ali.
This is Kofi Ali.
Good morning, sir. What would you like to say?
Well, I think are the lines open? I want to believe the lines
Yes. You can come in, sir.
Because from the word I heard, you were talking about dialoguing. So, you see, the issue we are talking about is more complicated than the way we're handling it. And we are under, how do I say, technically we are underplaying the problem. In this country or anywhere in the world where you have any issue, every issue has three sides. The political side to that issue, the economic side to that issue, which will not be achieved without the technological side being taken care of. We're talking in this case about mental health, I want to believe. Mental health is not about, how do I say, picking a person and putting him in a room. There is far more to mental health, issue than the way we're looking at it. It's just like any medical issue. It's just like any medical issue. And in a medical case, when you go to the hospital, if you take yourself there, if you're a normal person, isn't it? They will be talking about medicine, isn't it?
Yes.
You'll not be going to the hospital naked, are you? You are going to have clothing, and what they are going to give you, if your need, it now depends upon the need. If the need, they require food you have not eaten. They need to feed you. They need to clothe you. They even with the mental health person, they need to house the person. Then you come to medical and medication itself. Is that not true?
Uh-huh.
The doctor will be paid. So it is more complicated than the issue we are talking about. When we have a country that imports toothpick, I think we should understand what is happening here. The country is on its knees. It is totally finished. When I go to Ghana, right, most times, asylum down area, just Accra in general, you go about around 9, 10, 11 o'clock and be walking. Just by even the main road, don't go inside. You will see from tree to tree people sleeping under it. I don't know whether you are aware.
Yes.
Some of these people will be talking to themselves. That one sitting there is not just poor, but he has mental health issue.
Yeah.
Today in Ghana, In the middle of Accra, you can have a person walking totally naked, 100% naked, and nobody cares. A woman or a man. So what are we talking about? Even normal people are sick. Talk less of the sick ones. Because there are serious issue. Serious issue. The hospitals, I don't know the last time, I know you were recently in Ghana and there was a medical issue where you ended up in a hospital.
Yeah.
You might have gone to a posh one. You go to hospitals in Ghana. In fact, Ghanaians, they don't even go to hospital again. They are tired of the hospital because there's nothing to do.
You're right.
And when they go there, the cost they even put before you. The only time you see in Ghana, you hear anything, because the people have accepted it as part of their life. It is when things totally go wrong. Totally go wrong. Family that cannot take care of themselves. When we say family, what do we mean? Is it a Bushiafo community or a man, his wife, and children? Can you say? And then who will take care of one of them that is down, that cannot do anything? His brain is not functioning properly. Mental health, anyone can have mental health. The difference between our psychological, this mental health issue, right, is that some have got lesser ability to withstand pressure, while some of us probably can endure more.
Yeah.
But that sometimes leads to breakdown. Our politician, you remember Awuah Safo?
Yes.
She was in America for how many years?
For a
She
very
was
long
there
time.
because her son was not well. Is that not true?
Yeah.
Or a child, whether a boy or a girl, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And who paid for the America? Is it not her?
Yeah.
So she has the money. Let's assume she pay. We heard the father of the child, Kennedy Japan, was contributing to pay, and they were talking about. But that's not the issue. A member of parliament of your country, responsible for managing the institutions of the country as a minister as well, her daughter or her son is not well. Because of the poor state of her healthcare issue in her own country, she then took the child to another country where she stayed there for a long time. And the people in the country are talking about why she even went, the fact that she went to America. Don't you talk about why she left Ghana in the first place? She herself is a failure. All of us are failures, because if we don't know how to tell our politicians, the active ones, because we are all in it, we are all politicians, like you said from the word go. If people are talking, they are either talking about good or bad.
Kovi, please do call back. The line has dropped. Do call back. Okay, I think we've got Kofi back on. Kofi, do call back. Okay. The line dropped. Do call back. I also like to hear your take. All right. I'd like to hear your take on this particular subject, to do with mental health, and I'm passionate about this story. Kofi?
Yes, we are. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Carry on.
Yes, I'm trying to draw our attention to this serious issue. The mental health issue is more complicated than the way we are looking at it. Like someone going out, maybe stealing or something. Before the person stole, you understand? The police will come and catch the person and take them. No, we don't ask what situation even forced this person into what they've done. What have we all done wrong? I don't think we do ask that question. We only see the fire. We don't see when the smoke is building up.
Yeah.
Until we begin to think this way. I've worked in care homes in this country before. You understand? I'm a support worker. I can even I've forgotten some of the medication they give them. Right? That they supply from here, because the factory making it is just around the corner. Every day they'll bring them. And almost every week they come and take the one the patient don't take away. I don't know whether you know how much each medication costs.
No.
They are very expensive. Very, very expensive. Very, very expensive.
But I think you're talking about when the person's mental state has deteriorated. I do know that from experience, not personal. I should say personal experience because I do have somebody that has gone through mental health issues, and the fact that they refuse to go on medication itself is a sign of their mental health, right? And gradually they have deteriorated to the point where they got themselves involved in some really serious case. Okay. So when it comes to this, I'm so passionate. And I just want to just come in before you come back in, Kofi, is before a person gets to this stage, there are signs and symptoms that they display. And for me, as you rightly pointed out, in Ghana in particular, and probably across a lot of the countries in Africa, the fact that this does not seem to bother us is what concerns me, because I've seen this happen when I was growing up in Ghana as a little boy till now as a full grown adult. This is still happening, Kofi.
Yes, there is the one, our inability to contain these problems are there. In other words, mental health. Remember, that's why they call it health. It's a health issue, isn't it? And when there is a health issues, you need health related facilities to deal with it, and it spans from the first to the last. But mental health problems, in most cases, they may not be violent. They are not just, how do I say, they just need a certain environment for them to be cooled down and then,
Yes.
supported. In most cases, now here they have what you call Section 9. In other words, when you are at that level, they remove you and put you in certain facilities. And if you check in this country, every community, every every not borough, every little space, the houses you see there, a lot of them are mental facilities. If it's serious, they take you to a place called Signage. Yeah, they have different degrees. But when the person is all right, they just put them in there and then they give them everything they need. The other side has to do, apart from the economic side, it has to do with our cultural side.
Yeah.
What I will call culture. I don't even regard that as culture. I consider it as our state of backwardness. You see, when a child is in school, right, mental health is not only for adults. Children do have mental health issues. If you are able to pick it up quickly, sometimes it's something that led to something. For example, apart from the parent and the household issues and so on and so on. Recently, there's something they call dyslexia. They say the child is dyslexic. It got DST and then, personality crisis and so on. Can you see? All these things, when they are not contained on time, it makes it difficult for the child even to concentrate in the class to learn. Can you see? In where we come from, they just take it, it is the gods that are doing him, and there's the spirits that are attacking him.
Yeah.
And then soon it will go. Sometimes they take them to the village, and then they will rub some things in their body, keep them in one shed, and bring them back again. This child becomes vulnerable. Because when a child is having a challenging behavior in school and it's not identified on time, in most cases in Ghana, they just stop him from going to school. Can you see?
Mm-hmm.
When they don't solve this problem on time, in the classroom, he becomes disruptive. And sometimes others pick on him and they begin to bully him. When you are bullying someone, he wants to react. And that reaction could lead to violence and sometimes, and sooner or later, he can't cope. Can you see? And this person will grow with it. That thing has not been identified and assist him to manage the problem. It's a social issue. It's a state problem. But in Ghana, the states cannot even build toilet. They are
this problem that the phone keeps dropping. I will speak to the producers to try and resolve this issue. Your points well made, well taken on board. I think before the line dropped, you were the first time you actually making a point that I thought was really important. The fact that an MP would leave the country to seek medical attention because of her child not being well. And of course, MPs have a lot of privileges, and also well-to-do, so they can afford to do these things. And it's not just her. And this has been happening in Ghana many times. The moment they're not well, they get on a plane and fly over to seek medical attention, whereas the ordinary citizen is left to their own devices. Whether they survive or die, only God knows. The issue of mental health. We're talking about this today. If you just tune in, because there's a report that a mentally unstable woman stoned a young man to death in Ghana. And of course, this raises concern about how the nation deals with mental health. And if it's not dealt with, this could potentially lead to atrocities or, events such as these that we're talking about. How do you see mental health? How did you see it growing up? Is it something that you are accustomed to? Did you witness any of your family members, friends? I did. Actually, two people in my neighborhood growing up in Ghana. And there was one particular woman, and I think her one was more of psychosis. So she used to go through her crises, all right? And once she was going through, she would start talking to herself. Mind you, she had a daughter as well. She had a daughter. At the time, the daughter was probably 7, 8 years old. She had a daughter. She lived with the daughter. She cared for that daughter. But when she was going through the crisis, she would just start talking, and it looks as if she was talking to people, but there's nobody there. And she's talking about people doing something to her. She was, she lived alone with her daughter. Clearly, something happened for that to have started. But I don't recall her seeking any medical help or any medical help being offered to her. What I do recall is that she's fine. She'll be playing with her daughter. Everything is okay. Then the next minute, she goes through her episode, and she was referred to as, she's not mentally unstable. Like, she's mad. Okay? She's mad. And then there was another guy in the same area that, everybody used to say he was mad. I mean, one day you see him, he will have a bath, go to get water, carrying water, doing his chores. And then another time he would just switch, and it looks like right now, with a better understanding of mental health, it looks like he had a personality disorder. And when that is not looked at or seen to, then it could spiral down to what we've seen. Unfortunately, a vulnerable person killing a young man, or then they being at the end of the crime, being murdered. We heard stories, gruesome stories of vulnerable people being taken advantage of across the country. And I know that it's not just Ghana alone. This is something across the continent. A lot of people can identify with what we're discussing here. It's not only peculiar to Ghana. And Kofi was touching on the cultural aspect, which he labels as backwardness. And I agree with him on that. I agree with him. I don't know where to draw the line, something being spiritual and something just being, mentally, a mental problem that needs proper medical attention. You can call in 0203-735-8820, 0203-286-0185. Alternatively, you can call 0778-793-9958. You can listen to us on gnradiouk.com, www.gnradiouk.com. Mind you, we are streaming on Facebook as well, so do go onto our Facebook page. If you like to send your views via Facebook, you can do so, and I will read them out. Okay. It's sometimes. Hello, good morning.
Oh, sorry, this Kofi. Let me land quickly.
Okay, Kofi, quickly, please.
Sorry for taking all your time today. You see, most of the problem we are having, I think, is economic issue. Seriously, the state cannot fund even the few mental facilities they've got. And a lot of people, because of the economic situation, you understand, the pressure, the economic pressure, the challenges, social, everything, most people cannot handle it. The population of people with mental issue across West Africa. Hello?
We're listening, Kofi.
The population of people across West Africa is seriously increasing, terribly increasing. What happens these days is that the churches and the fetish priests, right, are now relieving families that don't want, that disgrace. So most of the time they take them to the rural areas. They chain them up. I don't know whether you saw it recently.
Yeah.
There were documentaries on this. They beat hell out of them, feed them with all sorts of poison, and then some of them die there because you don't use violence to address a mental issue. The person is suffering psychologically from inside. Mental, there's a zero. And then you are using violence, pains. It's not the solution. The only time this is applied, in other words, restrain, you understand, when you want to administer medication in an organized environment and it's difficult, then they are not cooperating, then you can restrain them, apply your medication. It could be injection, it could be anything, it could even be force, it become like force feeding in a way, you understand. But that even is a slim case. All these things cost money. Let us come back to the base. Everything you see here, nothing is free. The psychiatric doctor must live like a doctor with dignity. Is that not true?
Yeah.
He wants a car. He wants to travel on holiday. He wants to take his family out on tourism. He wants to dress. He wants to do everything. He wants his office to be decent. The workers, everybody, and the patient himself. Where are you going to get this money from?
Well, that's why we voted for them to be in power.
No, we are not voting for them.
We
need to understand. If this medication is produced within Ghana, these facilities, the bed, the this, the that, you understand? They are not stupid. Those we are voting for, they want it. No politician is asking to be voted not to do anything. Can't you see them going to borrow money? They want to do something. Whether they do it or not, they will steal anyway. They are stealing here. Have you ever heard somebody say my council tax is not, my council house is not paying, my benefits is not, because the corporation has stolen some money? Have you heard that one before here?
No.
But they still will know Boris Johnson has his own cronies. But it's not affecting the ordinary man because there's too much money. And the factory that is producing it is just around the corner. We are saying that everyone wants a solution. We should stop pointing at others as if they are the devils. All of us are part of this problem. Let us start thinking what is holding us back. And I believe it's a very competitive thing. Look, when you go to China, Russia, they produce all these medications. You understand? When Pfizer is coming down, it wants to sell to the whole of West Africa. Pfizer belongs to some people here, Slovakia. They are all here in London, in UK. Some of them are in France, and some of them are coming from America. Can you see? We become less competitive against these people. It is important we set up one common platform, and that is why we formed the ECOWAS. This is why the ECOWAS was formed. This is why the OAU was formed. This is why the African Union was formed, so that we can have a good base to compete. We are not thinking of it that way, but problems are humans, and problems will be coming every day. Look, whether we do it or we don't do it, whether we start getting our own billionaires to meet these people, because they're all monsters, let them meet. Because this is like you're having military. Why do you have military? Because the other man is having military. We don't have military for fun. Is that not true? It's the same thing. Let us understand. It's a competitive world. We can't change this thing. It's bigger than us. So let us strategically position ourselves in a way that we can be competitive. I don't know whether you understand me here.
I do.
Medicine is there. Is Nanado going to be eating the medicine? How much tablets can he take alone? If it is there, in America, they beg them to come and take the medicine. Because there's one contractor they've given the job around the corner who is producing the medicine. Can you see? When there is a product, it will be given out. But there's no product. I just have to go to America. Don't you see? You think she's happy to go and stay in America where she will have lost her MP seat? You think she's happy? Hello?
You're listening, Kofi.
Do you think a minister is happy to leave a...
Okay, Kofi. No, of course not. I don't think a minister is happy, but if a minister can get away to get better medical health elsewhere, of course they will go. But the what you're talking about, that we should be able to manufacture these medicines, all boils down to one thing, and it's about having the rights to manufacture these medication. I think a few months ago, I know for sure that the president of South Africa, Ramaphosa, was also making the same point, the same as the Ghana president. The pharmaceutical companies will not allow Africans to also manufacture, the COVID vaccines, simply because of, the patent. They wouldn't allow them. Of course, once they do that, they lose the money. And, once we start talking about this, we're heading into a whole different discussion here. And I've got really, really strong views against these pharmaceutical companies. So, of course, when medications are manufactured, the biggest thing is for them it's profits, to make money. And whether they will, Africans or you name it, will be able to make such medication is something to discuss. Or if they can come up with their own formula to help, that's another story that needs to be discussed. But we do know that even when you go to Ghana, you go to the pharmacy, even common paracetamol, there's prices. Okay, there's prices, not because it's ibuprofen or aspirin or something else. Just common paracetamol. There are prices, different types. Okay, and which then goes to show that the medication is coming. It depends where these type of medications are coming from. As you said, Kofi, this is a very, very complex issue. You can also call in or send in your message. The number to do so is 0203-735-8820 or 0203-286-0185. Alternatively, you can call or text our mobile number 0778-793-9958. A lot of text messages have come through, and I will read them very, very soon. But let's quickly look at other stories as well. The first ship carrying Ukraine grain set out from the port of Odesa on Monday under a deal sealed by the United Nations and Turkey, which is expected to release large stores of Ukrainian crops to foreign markets and ease growing food crisis. And I remember when we were talking about this, right? And Africa in particular became, African countries in the news. They like to group Africa as a country, right? And they kept projecting that because of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the repercussions, especially when it comes to agriculture, because I know that Ghana imports their fertilizers from Ukraine. It's not Ukraine, Russia. So that will have significant impact on Ghana, and also the fact that Ghana is a massive exporter of crude oil. So when this deal was sealed, many were wondering how, all of a sudden it will have a knock-on effect across the continent of Africa. And according to reports, Sierra Leone flagged cargo ship Razoni left Odesa carrying over 26,000 tons of corn destined for Lebanon. The first grain ship since Russian aggression has left the port, said Ukraine's Minister of Infrastructure. Now, they posted a video of the long vessel sounding its horn as it slowly headed out to sea. Let's take a quick listen to this report. A lot of countries have used or said that the war in Ukraine has impacted the economy. So let's see. Let's take a quick listen to this report. Hopefully, put things into perspective. All right, and we all understand why people were talking about the impact.
A sigh of relief at last. The first ship carrying Ukrainian grain set out from the port of Odesa on Monday under a deal sealed by the United Nations and Turkey, expected to release large stores of Ukrainian crops to foreign markets and ease a growing food crisis.
What we have witnessed today in Odesa is an important starting point. It must be the first of many commercial ships bringing relief and stability to global food markets. The Black Sea Grain Initiative allows for significant volumes of exports from 3 Ukrainian ports. Together with the agreed facilitation of the unimpeded access of Russian food products and fertilizers to world markets, it will bring relief and stability to global food markets and help tackle the global food crisis. Ensuring that grain, fertilizers, and other food-related items are available at reasonable prices to developing countries is a humanitarian imperative. People on the verge of famine need these agreements to work in order to survive.
In Moscow, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov hailed the ship's departure as very positive, saying it will help test the efficiency of the mechanism that were agreed during the talks in Istanbul.
Okay, and that was a report there by the African News. Let's look at other stories as well. Now, in what's today's date? Today's the 2nd, right? So just over a week's time, Kenyans will be going to the polls to vote. According to reports, the arrival of Kenyan presidential candidate William Ruto, as he seeks votes from densely populated, politically influential heartland of Mount Kenya, located in the center of the country and flanked by an extinct volcano that gives the vast region its name. As the underdog in the August 9th election, where he will face Raila Odinga, a veteran opposition politician who has the backing of the ruling Jubilee Party, Ruto and his team know that winning Mount Kenya is essential, and this is a swing state in the Kenya's election. Let's take a quick listen to this report.
As Kenyans prepare for the August 9 election, the main political bigwigs are now narrowing down on their main targeted campaign regions. Among the most sought-after region is Central Province of Kenya, where the outgoing president hails from. The bloc is a home to over 6 million voters who primarily have opposed Raila Odinga's candidacy for the past decades.
It is a hunting ground, and especially now that they do not have a candidate running for the presidency. That is a go-to area in terms of trying to woo the numbers onto your side. Ruto was Jubilee, and Jubilee was a party, and is the party of the Mount Kenya. Ruto became a splinter group of the Jubilee coalition, of the Jubilee government. So he had a head start. But all indications are that as his numbers are coming down, Azimio numbers are going up.
Some leaders from the region have predicted a huge victory for the current Deputy President William Ruto, saying that he is someone who is accepted by the people of Mount Kenya.
This is the first time we, first of all, don't have any serious, in our view, candidate from Mount Kenya. And we honestly really don't care because we have found a leader who has the interests of Mount Kenya at heart, even if he doesn't come from here. They have tried even choosing their running mate from here, but still, if you walk around, go to the market, ask people, they will tell you that they are voting for the UDA party, and mostly because of the economic agenda of the party of UDA.
Ruto, who is a businessman from the Kalenjin tribe who is currently serving as Kenya's deputy president, was originally slated to succeed President Uhuru Kenyatta. Instead, he found himself banished to the sidelines after his boss struck a deal with arch rival Odinga. But to his supporters, he is the man to vote for. We as the Kikuyu cannot be told who to support. Uhuru is a traitor. He has worked with him, Ruto, for 5 years. He then thought about his own personal interests and asked us to vote for someone we do not want. Mount Kenya is still the heart of Kenya's politics 6 decades after independence in 1963. 3 of the country's 4 presidents are all Kikuyus.
All right. So we'll keep a close eye on the Kenyan election, which will take place on the 9th of August. Let me just mention the phone lines again, because people are receiving text messages that they're trying to call. You can call the mobile line, okay? 0778 793 9958. 0778 793 9958. Or 0203 735 8820. Or 0203 286 0185. Elsewhere, gunmen have killed 8 Nigerian security personnel, including 3 policemen and 5 militiamen, in an ambush in the central state of Kogi. In Saturday's attack, gunmen suspected to be bandits ambushed and killed the men. Kogi State is experiencing an upsurge in attacks, some claimed by Islamic State jihadists operating outside their usual base in the northeast. Again, still sticking with in Nigeria. There's actually another story to do with the security issue. A 7 lawmaker representing Jos East Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Ducheng Bagos, has condemned the killing of 7 of his constituents by suspected Fulani terrorists. It was earlier reported that the suspected Fulani terrorists attacked Danda Chugui village of Jos, South Local Government of Plateau State, on Sunday night, killing 7 people and injuring 2 others. The killing came barely 24 hours after 18 people lost their lives during a clash between bandits and vigilantes in the Wase local government area of the state. Bagos, who is the deputy chairman of the House Committee on Anti-Corruption, was present at the mass burial of the 7 victims at Danda village, where he described the act as inhumane, according to Daily Post. Now, another story which I thought was interesting is, the question that I was asking, right? Do you take aphrodisiac to last long in bed? Now, aphrodisiac is simply food, herbs, or drinks that improve sexual performance of anyone who consumes them. Generally, most people have insecurities with regards to their sexual strengths and abilities. And this is because of the perception most people have about sexual intercourse, and probably the misconceptions learned about sexual intercourse from exaggerated sex scenes in movies and tales from friends. Okay? Studies have revealed that naturally a man after penetration can last for a period of 7 to 13 minutes before ejaculation, and ejaculation in less than 5 minutes after penetration is deemed as premature. However, in reality, most men are referred to as slow performance in bed, even if they meet the 30 minutes time duration. This phenomenon has compelled most people, especially men, to look for sexual enhancers or aphrodisiacs to make them last longer in bed. Now, according to National Library of Medicine, USA, more than 25 million people worldwide use aphrodisiac. Okay. It is worth noting that there are different types of aphrodisiacs. Organic aphrodisiacs, which includes banana, watermelon, ginger, banana, pharmaceutical aphrodisiacs such as Viagra. And the reason why we're talking about this because there are side effects to all of this. Okay, so if you're a man and you happen to be using this, you ought to be careful because the side effects include liver and kidney damage, risk of stroke and infertility, hypertension, loss of sex drive, and many, many more. So, according to this report, over 25 million people worldwide are using aphrodisiacs. And I've got a few text messages on this particular subject, this story, and I will read them out now. Actually, let's take a few of the messages that have come in. Okay, this is from John. John is saying, Jones, thank you for touching on mental health issue. Just like yourself, growing up in Ghana, I witnessed a lot of people walking out and about on the streets of Ghana. A lot of them were naked, looking very, very dirty and sleeping on the roadside, and nobody paid any attention to them. I'm sure these people have families. How can a country of 30 plus million people still be struggling to deal with mental health issues? But when they are not well, the politicians, I guess that's what he's trying to say here, will be quick to get on a plane to seek medical attention. Okay, this is from James. James is saying that the woman they should rather give the woman medical attention and not keep her in prison because that will not serve any purpose. She needs help and they need to give her help. It's sad that a young man had to lose his life. I agree with your earlier text message that you read, Jones. The facilities in Ghana are substandard. Everything is cash and carry. The poor cannot afford to feed themselves, let alone take their ill loved ones to the hospital. I weep for Ghana. This is from Simon. Simon is saying that I feel terribly sad as a Ghanaian today because this story touches my heart. How can a poor woman herself, who is vulnerable, end up being a criminal? They shouldn't harm her. She needs help, and they have to give her help. Before I carry on reading the text messages, I mean, in this country, right? And I hate. I'm one of those people that hate to compare and contrast because yes, I understand that the system that we operate under. When I say we operate under, I'm talking about Ghana here. This whole democracy in Ghana, the nation state. So you tend to realize that a lot of our policies, some of our policies, we look elsewhere, and policies is just a matter of seeing how one particular country have been able to successfully implement a policy that has been very effective. And you also find ways to try to implement it in your country, how you see it fit. And I make no excuses because when it comes to economic help or economic assistance, they're quick to come here to seek for economic assistance. So why can't they do the same when it comes to tackling the issue of mental health? They can do the same. And maybe, and I'm not making excuses for the state here or government here. This problem is not just under this current government, successive governments. I think this problem has been in Ghana since Adam, I would think, or since the inception of Ghana. And maybe, and just maybe, because the reason why I believe that mental health is being taken very, very seriously now in this country is because of awareness. And awareness does not just come from the government. The awareness comes from the people, the citizens, right? And then the government has to act. It's like technology. Technology forces the government to act. Government always catches up, okay? So maybe Kofi Ali is saying we've all played a part in this problem. maybe we haven't made enough noises about this. I know that there are some people in Ghana right now, and I know somebody in Ghana who has actually gone out there to set up her own organization and is helping, right? Because it's all about education and people understanding what causes these illnesses. And maybe we all need to play a part. We all need to play a part, because there is charity organizations that are able to help where the government lacks. You know, because it's all about economics. Kofi mentioned it, talked about the economic side of things, because everything costs. Nothing is free. Everything costs, and the government cannot subsidize that, unfortunately. So it's down to you and I, all of us collectively, to be able to help to address this particular issue. Unfortunately, we run out of time. Goodness me. Thank you very much for staying tuned. The people that were listening on radio, thank you very much for staying tuned. And also on Facebook, thank you very much for your comments. I know I couldn't get through a lot of the comments, but all the same, thank you very much. I'm done for today. All being well, I'll be back here tomorrow morning. Tomorrow we're here till 11 a.m. Whatever it is that you find yourself doing, whatever it is you're doing today, make sure you look after yourself and stay safe. All being well, I'll see you tomorrow. Take care and look after yourself.